Hi everyone, today live 1 p.m. I will have your company with me at lunch. We're talking about be more of yourself, earn more for yourself. These are the two important criteria that I want to share with you today. When I look into the newspaper this morning on a digital aspect, there's a father fighting for the life of his son who was diagnosed at the age of 3 with neuroblastoma. And when you go through the statistics, all through that article, just two words: cancer and money. Now these are critical times. If you think that you're in a comfort zone, that whatever salary you're earning is enough for you, if you think that you would be free from any age-related disease, you're fooling yourself. That's called fake news. What I'm here to tell you as a doctor, after working for 40 years and 35 years in the field of plastic and reconstructive surgery, I'm telling you, even in my own life, that there is always something that is missing, and that is proper education from a doctor to you as a patient. Because everybody is now so compartmentalized in their training compared to when I graduated in 1979. It was just medicine. It was about patients. Today it's all about business, house business. But let me tell you this, the best business you can ever have in your existing life would be minding your own business. When you have taken responsibility of your own life, then you will know that you don't need to take any orders from anyone else but yourself. Your direction, your purpose, making a decision, sticking with it, and having fun with it. So today I'm going to talk about my own journey over the last 30 years and what I thought would be a wonderful way of being more than myself, and at the same time earning in a way that I was able to support my own daughter through dental school, which cost me 1.2 million. Now we can learn from each other over lunch. Hopefully it will help you in your life to make decisions, right decisions, because the primary concern today is to avoid the age-related diseases that can plague you and have already plagued me. So see you today 1 p.m. Remember YouTube, HEARTtalk with Dr. Charles Lee. You can get me on Instagram, Charles Lee Pro. You can get me on Instagram, Charles Lee Pro. And you can get me on Facebook, the ENER Club. So see you at 1 p.m. and have a date, lunch with me. See ya. So welcome to the ENER Club. It's about empowering a network of entrepreneurs in the real world. And this is important because, you know, when we started the ENER Club about 7-8 years ago, it was a time when I was just recovering from a health crisis. And it was a very difficult moment in my life. And so the ENER Club was really, I felt that right through my whole career, it was about empowering network of entrepreneurs. All right, so many who are actually advancing in their careers will find that there's a big difference between being a biz entrepreneur and being one who has a professional taste to the career or the profession that they're doing. So I want to welcome all of you, and so this is the reason why, for those of you who are actually been following us. And so the ENER Club was given birth from living the Malaysian dream. And it was a website that was started nearly about 8 to 10 years ago. And I found that many of us have dreams. We all have a dream. In fact, just now I was singing this song, Fly Me to the Moon. It's all about, escaping from the reality of life, isn't it? And so no matter what profession you're in, no matter what career you're in, I just want to welcome you and to tell you that this is the reason why we will find that there are always challenges in life. And today I thought that, since we go live on Wednesdays and Fridays, I thought today would be something personal. So if you're having lunch, welcome for joining me for lunch. As you can see that, we've been preparing for this. So we are always live on Wednesdays and Fridays. And Wednesday would be the ENER Club, and Fridays will be on my aesthetic practice. And so this Friday, I want to just put a heads up now. that this Friday we will be talking about the Q&A of fat reduction, which is cryolipolysis. Now, when you go back to when I first graduated in 1979, I remember, this was in the General Hospital in Kuala Lumpur. And I was just finished, I was doing my internship. And every time we finished work at about 5 o'clock, there'll be a whole group of people gathered outside, the clinic. And you know who they were? They were people from the insurance industry. And they all used to crowd outside the clinic, the surgical department. And because we were new doctors, just graduated, so the first thing they would do is they would actually come up to us and tell us, all about insurance. Doctor, you're new, you need an insurance. You need to insure your life. You need to, pick up all this stuff around us. And so we just disliked them. Never liked the insurance people because all they wanted was to just sign you up. And at that time, you're young, you have just graduated, you don't know what life is all about. And now 40 years having worked as a doctor and 35 years as a plastic surgeon, if there's any message I can tell you, the first thing is make sure you have an insurance. Make sure that you are medically insured so that you know exactly what you are being insured for. Because you'll never know that in life's journey, there will be always challenges. There will be always times when you will come across crisis in your life. So it's not about just working in a career. It's about really preparing yourself for the future because you can't live in the future. You certainly cannot live in your past. But you can be very much alive in the present. And that's what is called mindfulness, being mindful of what is happening in the present. And so very early in my career, so the first thing I did was to sign up in my insurance company. And lo and behold, in 1997, 1998, when there was a financial crisis, remember the Asia Tigers, everything crashed. Stock market crashed, everything. And at that time, it was the time of my career because 93, 94, 95 was good time. And so we were all doing very well and the economy was good. And when the economy is good, the plastic surgeons do well because people can afford treatment. And so all the money was then put into, the stock market and, we had a lot of properties. But because of the crash, we had to sell everything. So I know what a financial crisis is. Had to sell my practice, had to sell my house because nobody was coming for cosmetic surgery. And so this is way back in 1997, 1998. And that taught me a lesson, And this morning, as I was preparing to come and have this wonderful lunch with you, I was actually thinking of, how I could really go back in time to those years when I first started. You will not know that when you get into your insurance, you will find that you will not know when you need it. So I was saying this morning, I was reading the newspaper and the headlines in the digital platform was a father who was really having the most difficult time of his life because his 3-year-old son was diagnosed with cancer. It was a neuroblastoma. And if you read through the whole article, only 2 words kept coming over and over every second, third line. One was cancer and the other one was money. You see, he was not able to give his son the best treatment because he just couldn't afford it. And so what he did was, he raised up some funds, he went and appealed to the public, to the donations, and then there was the Cancer Society in this state, which is a neighboring state of Sabah, and they raised money and the child was able to go through chemotherapy. What I'm coming to is this. When it comes to your lifespan, when it comes to your journey in life, you will not know when these age-related diseases will hit you. And I can tell you one thing from a personal point of view. It's not about just being a doctor. We're also human beings. And we're all the time treating people. We're all the time seeing people with disease. And, at least in my practice, for the last 40 years, we hardly see people with disease unless it is skin cancer. Otherwise, it's always about beauty, beauty, beauty. How to stay beautiful, how to stay young. And I want to just advise you that the number one snare in life, other than health, is finance. You see, as a doctor, we work till about 5 o'clock in the evening. And after that, for me, in my profession, as a plastic surgeon, it's just wait. Wait for accidents to happen. Wait for, a child gets burns. So that's the only time we can earn, other than, in our daily routine from 8 to 5. And so this is where I'm appealing to, and I'm saying this from my heart to, if there's any doctor listening in, anybody in the medical service, anyone out there, whether it is front line, back line, center line, if you don't have another pathway of income, you will feel it when you reach the age of 60 or 70. You will feel it. You will know it, of how important it is to have another form of income. And so in my field, way back I've always loved people. If you don't love people, you can't do this business of what is called network marketing. And because I love people, I love to share, because at the end of the day, today's talk is about be more of yourself, earn more for yourself, all right? That's important. So those of you who have just joined me on Instagram, the Charles Lee Pro is the channel that I wanted to talk to you. But anyway, we've come back to Dr. Charles Lee Sabah. So welcome. You might as well enjoy, because we were getting a WhatsApp and a number of people were saying, where are you? Where are you? And so anyway, because I'm talking about my life, so I bring it back to Dr. Charles Lee Sabah. So welcome and enjoy this lunchtime with us. So back to the YouTube Live. If you want to watch me on YouTube Live, you can. HEARTtalk with Dr. Charles Lee. So going back to 1989, when I first came to Sabah, was to set up the first department of plastic surgery in Sabah. There was no department of plastic surgery. I was the first plastic surgeon in Sabah. And it was quite an interesting time, because I just fell in love. I remember landing at the airport and then taking a drive round Likas Bay to what was then Sabah Medical Center, which was right up on a hill. And that drive along the Likas Bay did it. I told myself, this is where I want to be. The sunset is different, and the sunrise is different. It's like as if you're on a different planet. And so 1989 was when we first came to Sabah. And I remember within 2 years in the government sector, I went private. I've got a video out, psychologically unemployable. In other words, your whole life you've been working in the government service. And I realized that, one of the greatest gifts you can is that the gift of earning. All of us, you and I, can earn. And that's a gift, because there are many people who don't know how to earn. And if you're given a choice between earning little and earning much, obviously you want much. If you're given a choice between earning big and earning great, go for great. And if you're given a choice to earn from as much as you can to great wealth, go for wealth. Because you only have this one chance to live and earn and make a living for yourself. So I love people. And, like I said, be more for yourself, and you give out more, so you earn more for others too. So this is why this is a challenge, that no matter what profession you're in, no matter what you are doing, always seek out another channel of income, because that is the gift of earning. When you're able to earn, remember that. It's so important. And if you love people, because there's a limit of how much, everything that and people come to see me because of one thing, knowledge. So everyone has knowledge, and that knowledge needs to be shared. And so for me, I love people. I love talking. I like, having lunch with you is a fantastic time to be together. And so in 1991, I still remember my first clinic was in KK Specialist Center. And, it was a row of doctors there. It was my first clinic. And you know what? My first exposure to what was then called network marketing. And so you're going back easy 30 over years. And for those of you who think that this is MLM, I'm telling you, throw it out of the window. because it is just a license. MLM is a license. If you look at anybody who is working in any big company today, who have stayed there for 15 years or 20 years, they would have started from the lowest rung and risen up to become a CEO or COO. So every strata in life, there are multiple levels. And because there was this myth, just like I started off when I talked about insurance, there was this, the way these people were gathering outside my clinic, 1979, I had an aversion for insurance. These people were like crabs, they were just hiding, and then suddenly they'll pop up. Doctor, can I have a word with you? Can I have lunch with you? They were so eager to sign up for me as a new intern to take up insurance. And lo and behold, when I look back right now after 40 years, that's the first thing that any doctor, any person, any profession should do. And that is make sure you are insured for life. Make sure you're insured for every damage that can happen in a lifetime, because you do not know. So insurance for me is a big thing. And when I look back now on my life, which I will share with you, one of the things that I'm really thankful for is to actually sign up and take an insurance way back 40 years ago. And so that was it in 1991, and my first exposure to this network marketing was a company called Shackley. Excellent. Every company that I talk to you about is superb. There are companies out there who have an excellent quality, they've got excellent ethics, and they've got an excellent standard of quality products. So at that time, it was quite interesting, because when I started talking to people about these Shackley products, they would say, is this direct selling? And I said, when you go and order a kway teow, it's direct, right? You go and buy it directly and you go and eat it, right? So what's the difference? Okay, if you go and buy anything, go to the coffee shop and ask for something, it's direct, So for me, in my practice as a plastic surgeon, I am the top salesman when it comes to plastic surgery, because we sell packages of beauty. All right, we don't sell it in a way that people think they're selling it, but we sell beauty. I sell skin health. I sell beauty, because when someone walks in, the passion to see that person radiate from within is the aortic flow of every plastic surgeon. You want the best, right? So I remember they were all sitting in my clinic, and those days we used to have projector slides, like before and after, right? And I used to talk about health, and people used to wonder, and said, oh, is this direct selling? Is this MLM? And I thought, well, it's not a drug. I'm not selling you drugs. I'm talking about health. And 30 years ago, and it was like an aversion, like I was saying some foul letter words. It's only 3 letters, but it sounded like as I was saying a 4-letter foul word, And so I want to tell all of you out there, that the greatest gift you can get and learn, the skill that you can gain and learn today, would be to be a salesperson. How to sell health, how to sell wealth, how to sell whatever you have. Learn the skill, because that's the greatest gift that anybody can have, actually. So they were gathered together, and it was great. But then, unfortunately, I couldn't take the products because I had a reaction with it. I used to get it didn't do well with me. But excellent company, and so after that, my next exposure. So I never give up networking, because for me, I love to see people, because the greatest passion for me is to be able to take a product. Can I have the spray, please? To take a product and make sure that it is on the dressing table of every living woman and man. It's so important. That's the passion I have. That if I can get some good product out on your dressing table so that every morning you use it, that's my goal. See, my passion is to drive a product to where it's supposed to be. That's my passion. So when that finished, thank you. And when that was spell of network marketing, and I used to learn and I used to read, and then my next exposure in network marketing came to a company called Noni Juice. I don't know any of you all have heard about it. Noni Juice. I was amazed that this Morinda company, the plant from Polynesia, this noni fruit had a juice in it, and it would come in a bottle. And I loved it. I used to drink that whole thing like I thought it was just like from another planet. It was really good. I enjoyed it. But again, like I said, these are all top class companies. But in anything that you do, it's so important for quality, for ethics, and some form of standard that the company is held to, so that you can enjoy it. So for me, it was marketing skin health. It was marketing health, and that excited me when it was being made available to everyone. In Air Asia, they have this slogan: "Now everyone can fly." For me, it was now everyone can have a product on its table, and it's affordable, and anybody can take it. So I was really interested in this network marketing, because it was about investing in people, building people, developing people, growing people. And if you are doing that for someone else, what an art, you see. And because as I was doing it with people, I started realizing that there's a smart way to live, all right? The word smart, S-M-A-R-T, A-R-T, there's an art in the word smart. And so 30 years ago, I started developing this art of smart aging. How do I get a cell that I know is going to die in about 14 days? How can I get that cell to live as long as it's supposed to live? Are you with me? Now, this is important. All the diseases, in fact, the key to skin health, or for that matter, any cell health, is regular cell turnover. If that cell is functioning and turning over at the right time, that's what you call, life of that cell is lived to its fullest. And so, when I started off 40 years ago in plastic surgery, we were introduced to this. I remember studying this man called Robert Boyle. Write it down. If you're having lunch, if there's a serviette over there, just write it down. Robert Boyle. I keep using his name all the time, and every time I talk. Robert Boyle was a scientist. In fact, he was a chemist. He was a real. He was the first person for chemistry. He's called the father of chemistry. And Robert Boyle, this is way back 350 years ago. And Robert Boyle, at the end of his life, he wrote a 20-point wish list. 1, 2, 3, 4 points that he wanted science to deliver in the years ahead. It was his wish. And number one on that list, the top two was, number one was the prolongation of life. How can life be prolonged? And the second point in his wish list, 20-point wish list, was the recovery of youth. How do you recover youthfulness? And so this is why in all that we do, in all that we study, in what I'm going to tell you today, are these 2 points that I hope that you will respect and that you will treasure. And that's the reason why on Instagram, for example, every time somebody writes me a note and says, PM Price, my staff get an instruction, delete that name. I have no time for people like that. It's not a coffee shop. Your life is not a coffee shop. Your health is not a coffee shop. You can't buy health. All right. So I always tell people, respect your life and respect the person who is actually marketing skin health and skin life. That's the greatest gift, isn't it? That if I can network with every one of you, and you come onto this team of the ENER Club, and you market health, you market prosperity of just being alive and prolong life and prolong youthfulness, you're on a top score. That's what I mean by be more. Be more of yourself and earn more for yourself, so that in the time when it comes, then you hit the road and you're up against a crisis, you're well positioned to navigate through that crisis. So that was my journey. It was a real struggle. I was, in such a dire mode of, dire straits is what the word I was looking for. And so every time, and for those of you who have just joined me on Instagram, I welcome you. For those of you who are watching me on YouTube, welcome. The first thing that I want to tell you all is that don't treat your health as if you can buy it. and there's a price to health. Don't ever do that. And that's why, in my profession, I'm a judge for beauty contests. I have judged Miss Sabah International. I have judged whatever, beauty contest. And beauty is not a commodity. Beauty is an art. And so if you are selling yourself as a commodity, you have lost it. All right? So I hope you gain this lunchtime talk with me. Because it's not often that you can have a chat like this with a plastic surgeon, right? And so my life has been 40 years of more in the valleys and a few mountaintop experiences. But so this is why I'm telling you that if you PM me and you ask me PM price, I will delete you from the whole list, because that's not the way to treat yourself. At the same time, have respect for professionals who are actually marketing health, all right, for a better word. And so after Noni Juice, there was a lull period, because I was in the ministry and spiritually I was called, and so it went on from there. And exactly this month, 11 years ago, I did not know that I was dying on the inside. I didn't know that the blood vessels to my heart were completely blocked. And that was, like walking in a darkness in the valley of the shadow of death. I had the shadow of death over me, and I did not know. So as a doctor, as a surgeon, I'm telling you, if you think that in your lifetime that you can live your life without any age-related disease catching up on you, you're blind. If you think that life is going to be nothing but a bed of roses right up to the very end of your last breath, you're blind. If you can prepare yourself right now and build a business, build an income, build a fortune, build an empire for yourself that is actually grounded on health, you will find that the wealth in your life will measure up to you. You see, remember that your network determines your net worth. And your net worth is determined by your network of people who you are actually blessing. And so for me, it was a wonderful pathway that I could share my knowledge, my experience, to see someone else live beautifully. The gift of life today is to live beautifully. So here I was 11 years ago, July, and all my blood vessels, I didn't know what was happening on the inside. Do you? So when you get an invitation, remember these words of mine. Invitations can change your life. How you respond to an invitation can change the course of your life. And I hope that my invitation to you to join me for lunch today will change your attitude towards life. You will be serious of how important it is to have your finances well stabilized, that you are in control of your own finances. Just yesterday, Bill Gates passed a comment that the world is going into a recession. All right. I started off my talk today in my time with you about a father whose 3-year-old child is struck with cancer. It's got a neuroblastoma. The whole article, only one word keeps popping up: money, money, money. So people think that when you talk about money, it's don't worry about it. No, the love of money is the root of evil. And so I'm telling you as a plastic surgeon, I'm telling you as a doctor, in the month of August, 11 years ago, my whole chest was ripped apart, and the veins that were from my leg were used as a bypass surgery. I'm sharing this personal journey with you to tell you that, when it sometimes troubles me that when I tell somebody about health, they say, let me think about it. I see first. After I call you, and they never call. And so one of the things you will learn is the power of rejection, where people can reject health and they'll go for something else cheaper because it's their loss. And so I want to tell you that, last week I was talking about the 3 eras of medicine, especially aesthetics, in our field. In the 1970s and 80s, it was the era of biostimulation. How do you stimulate these cells to produce what they're supposed to do? For example, collagen, and for example, elastin. All right, that was the era. And then in the 1990s and 2000 or so, in the years, we went into the era of bio rejuvenation. And that is, once we know how to stimulate the cell, how do we keep it rejuvenated? How do we keep it active so that it is really, doing the work beyond what it's supposed to do? So that was an era of bio rejuvenation. Today, as we move in the 21st century, it's an era of bio revitalization. How do you revitalize what we already regenerated? And so this is the key in skin health, you see. So because I'm a plastic surgeon, I'm not a skin specialist, but because we deal with skin health, a lot of my energy and time and passion is directed to skin health. Because if you can keep the skin healthy, you will find that you'll be able to prolong youthfulness. That's the main purpose, isn't it? To prolong youthfulness. Remember Robert Boyle. So August 11 years ago, was a critical time for me because it was open heart surgery. And that was the time when I realized how important health is. Until today, I'm still learning because, you're always against yourself. It's you against you. It's always you against yourself, isn't it? And I speak as one who has lived in a whole mode of self-denial, that nothing can happen, everything is okay, tomorrow is tomorrow. But remember, you need to live as if today is the last day of your life. I'm beginning to realize that we don't take life for granted. And so this is why, I found out that, I could only work till 5 o'clock, and then after that there was no income. And, and sometimes it's horrendous, and don't laugh, but sometimes when it's very quiet, in the month, I would call the accident and emergency and I would say, why so quiet? And the medical officer on duty will say, doctor, and not that I was waiting for accidents, but, that was the only income that we could get, you see. So no matter what you're doing out there, no matter what profession you're in, choose another line of income that will serve you well in the later years of your life. Number one, make sure you are insured. Make sure that you have an insurance policy that takes you right to the very end. Now you can extend it to 100 years. And I know how difficult it is when you start reaching at an age like mine. And so number two is make sure that you have started a business where you can grow with it, when you can invest in it. It's not about you. It's about serving another person. If you have the passion to see someone else journey with you with good health, and the wealth will come along, and they are really, really resilient in going through the disasters of life that can come through, it's a great gift to walk with them. So that was my journey when it started off, and I had to learn the skills and this notion that as a doctor it's easy for you to get something out. No, you're dealing with the mindset. In fact, this is the one that makes a block to everything. Recently, just a few days ago, a friend of mine, in fact a family member, was down with COVID. And I said, listen, you've got to take this particular supplement. It's got minerals in it. And it's going to really help you in your immunity. It's going to bring down the inflammation, which I'm going to talk now about. And the reply was, no, I'm on antiviral drugs. So I don't want this to disturb my antiviral drugs. You see how the mindset has been so skewed that even giving health to somebody can be rejected, you see. And that's the cost. That's the cost of life, isn't it? Where we think we know everything. We think that what the media has skewed everything. And so when I'm talking about the key, the one word that you will remember today, and that is the word inflammation, okay? Inflammation comes from the root word flame. Flame means fire. The very moment we are born into this world, our body is on fire. And what we need is really a fire brigade from within. In fact, really, your body is the best pharmacy in the world. It is amazing what God has created in us. This is the best pharmacy. And if you don't stock up the right stuff in it, you will find that that's where the diseases start coming in because of life and the toil of life, okay? So I realized that, health was very important, and then I started off, of course, the ENER Club after that, because I wanted to empower people to give, who are entrepreneurs, to make skin health as their passion, to make really them, especially women, so that they can feel that beauty. Recently, I was talking to a beauty queen who, 29 years old, and she's got about like 29,000 followers, And I was talking about the importance of staying beautiful, and I was introducing her to a product that is today the art of bio-revitalization today, which I'm going to talk to you at the end. And she listened, and I said, this is so affordable, you can have it on your dressing table, and you can take it every day and in front of the mirror, and then just spray yourself with it, and keep yourself nice and fresh. It is the hidden link, which has been kept hidden for years, and now it's all available, and I want to give it, I'm oozing with excitement for her. And her only reply was, let me speak to my mother. I have no money. And then I realized, that it's sad. For me as a plastic surgeon, I was really downcast because beauty has now become a commodity. There are so many beauty pageants going around. People are selling beauty in the wrong way. And I hope that you are listening out there, that you would come and join me and form a team and take over the whole of Sabah, because there's only one battle in life, and that is the battle of inflammation. If we can come together and battle this inflammation, you will find that there will be the admissions to hospitals will be far less, because hospitals live on disease. Every day whenever I go into the operating theater, there's not an organ in the body that is not being removed except the heart. Everything else is removed. And in this article that I was reading this morning about this boy, this father and the 3-year-old child who was having neuroblastoma, which is a form of cancer. Last year, 2021, the number of cancer cases in Malaysia was 51,000 cancer. And so that's why I keep telling everyone that comes into my practice, because the only cancer that I see is skin cancer. And that's because the cell turnover has not been well maintained. And that's why I keep telling you, ladies out there, make sure, men too, make sure that you come for your regular hydrofacial that we have here. We've got a terrific machine that uses, a patented form of Vortex. It's a patented technology that gives you a lovely resurfacing of the skin, where the keratinocytes are then removed, and you have a fresh layer of new skin. It's all about organic farming. And then I take this spray of what is in it, which I'll tell you at the end, and spray it all over. And, listen, beauty is from within. So when you start respecting what the cost of beauty can be, then you will not PM me and ask me, PM price, like this is a coffee shop. Don't treat your health as a coffee shop. It's not for sale. What is for sale is your own health and wealth. And that is something that takes an art for you to develop. And yes, I see Sheena has written here, insurance is very important. Yes. And the word insurance is like to insulate yourself against the problems in the future. And so this is something that is very important. And so after my open heart surgery, I realized that it was important to stay healthy. And I must admit that, because of my own mindset and my own self-denial, it's a struggle. I could lose 10 kgs and within the next few months put back all the 10 kgs. And I tell you one thing that killed me during that time, which I didn't know that I was, dying on the inside, is one word: stress. And so today, if we can cut down the stress in the form of mindfulness, we have anti-inflammations that can tone down the problems of inflammation. Then you have what is called prolonged life. That was what Robert Boyle wanted. You see, the prolongation of life, because he knew, when he, as a father of chemistry, he knew that the one element that will kill the cell is inflammation and the side effects of oxidative stress. And so that's the reason why today a lot of the technology that is coming out is to shift the balance. So you and I today are gifted because we can leverage on technology to move the scale towards health instead of moving the scale towards pathology and disease. You know, I see women every time they walk in, they got pigmentation, and then they think it's part and parcel of the aging. It's not. It's a disease. It's photo-aging disease. And that's why when you talk about the A, B, C, D, E of life, the number one A for me in skin health here is vitamin A. And so if you come and see us, it's just about 480 ringgit, and you get an intravenous infusion of vitamin A, because vitamin A is a key vitamin that regulates the DNA of the cell and keeps it healthy. So when you talk about cell turnover, the moment the cell becomes abnormally turning over, there is no order, it becomes disorderly, abnormal turnover of cells. That's where cancer comes in. Okay? And then what happens is that when the cancer starts to multiply, when there's no order and it's abnormally fast, the cells then die. And they go through a process called apoptosis. So today, the technology is moving towards cell apoptosis. The moment the cell is finished its lifespan, how do you get it out? It's called apoptosis. And that's where the science of what we know today can keep us living longer, can keep our youthfulness of the skin younger. You see, that's the key today. And network marketing is a fantastic platform for me to get the knowledge that is inside here to as many people as I can so that they market skin health. Now, of course, a lot of it depends upon your exposure and what you know. Whenever I ask anybody about the components of the skin, the complement system of the skin, I always ask them, when you buy a bed, what do you look for? And some of them will say, oh, the wood must be strong, as if they're going to jump on the bed, Oh, the bed sheet must be also good. The quality, they just can't hit it, the dart right on bullseye. They can't tell me. They just go beating around the bush on the bed, like playing games. And yesterday I met a wonderful lady up. I was doing my exercises. Those of you who saw my YouTube, and I was doing this Indian, this dance, right? And she was from UK. From England, and I was talking to her while I was doing the treadmill, and I said, what's the most important thing when you buy a bed? And straight away, mattress. And that's what we do, matrixing. So a lot of the skin health that we market now, as in the network marketing business, is to build the matrix of the skin, because as you age, you will find that the skin has got two layers. It's got the epidermis, where you can see your pigment, and it's got the dermis, which is the deeper part. And very often, the epidermis is like a bedsheet. You can just change the bedsheet whenever you want to. All right? And the body the skin has a beautiful natural process of shedding out its outer layers of the skin, which is called exfoliation. Every 10 to 2 weeks, the skin cells just get exfoliated. You can't see it. It's the shedding of the outer layers of the cells, right? But what we do is we feed the dermis so that it becomes thicker and thicker and thicker, and then you get the suppleness of the skin. Now that is what I do in network marketing. I market the matrix of the skin. So if you can make that as your profession, and if you can earn through that, it'll be a fantastic gift to everyone else, isn't it? And that's the reason why I very strongly believe in that this is a gift. The profession of the 21st century today is network marketing. It is the new economy. Because you can take a beautiful product and sell it out to the masses of people, and they can enjoy health. Than going to the mall and buying stuff over the counter and you have no idea what's in it. They'll just buy it. And so that's human nature, you see. Like I was reading an article this morning, look at that. 30, 40 years ago when I entered into plastic surgery, never heard this before. This is what I call toxic media. Do you know what I just read this morning? It was an article about beauty from a beauty magazine. You know what the words they were using? Glassy skin. That's the latest. Go and Google it. Glassy skin. You know, the other one, spotless skin. I mean, can you believe it? Glassy skin. And I said, huh? In other words, you can see your face in the mirror like a reflection from your skin. You see how they have really adulterated the beauty of skin health. And people go and buy this kind of stuff. They don't know what is inside. And that's why when people come in here, patients come in here and they ask for skin whitening, skin bleaching, I tell them, be careful of one product called hydroquinone. It's banned. And then they come and ask for vitamin C. They want to get whiter. And I said, if it works, I also want vitamin C. There's no medical literature that tells you that vitamin C can end up with you getting whiter. I like skin brightening, skin, really looking lightening, because that means that the end products and the side effects of all that living cells get mopped up well, so the skin is really nice and nourished and radiant, and it refuses to accept that it's dying cells. It is more of an exudation of the beauty of life. So coming back to network marketing, and so and I'm just going to wind up now. So this was my journey, that I had gone through a financial crisis in 1997, 1998. So I know how important it is to insure your life, because you just do not know when it's going to hit you. And that was a financial crisis in 1997, 1998. But we survived because people trust you. They come and see you. Even during the COVID time, we were busy because they come in and they want the safest procedures. They know that all the staff here are very well trained, and at the same time they are screened well for COVID. And so we were busy during that time. When everybody was closing down, we were able to continue selling skin health because people wanted to build their immunity. And so we were doing vitamin A infusions, and people were coming and getting their hydrofacials and all that. So I'm leaving this with you, that the ENER Club was basically to put together to empower you to sell skin health, and wealth will come in with you. It was a form of a business venture where you can actually learn, and I will train you, the team will train you how to market skin health, how to make that as your profession, so that when you talk to people, it's not about PM price, it's about what does this product have and what does it do to my cells. And so the word that I want to leave with you today, write it down. The letter is E. And E stands for environment. If there's anything that I can share with you, and what I've learned over 35 years in plastic surgery as a cosmetic surgeon, is the word environment. What the environment is doing on the outside to the skin, and what is the environment of every living cell that's in the skin complement system. And that's very important, because a cell can only function if it is fed with the right environment. It's just like you and me, the friends we have. If you've got 5 friends, you will become one of the 5. You will become like them. If they're talking nonsense, you will end up talking nonsense. If you go to the cafe and you're playing there and doing all sorts of stuff, you will become like them. So choose your friends properly. And if those friends are marketing skin health and they're doing network marketing business, then go and learn from them, because you will never know when you need that extra income. So build it now. Build your empire now. Remember that. All right. So this is why I believe that the slogan for ENER Club is be more, earn more. Be more of yourself. Educate yourself. Learn the science of anti-aging or smart aging. Learn the science of smart aging. And then you'll find that you'll earn more for yourself. And you'll be ready for difficult times. And so when I talk about all this, right now, for me, the greatest gift that is coming out right now, and as I close, is something called proteoglycan. This is key today. 30, 40 years ago, I remember it was all about collagen. And you know, when people ask me, and we have learned those days when we were doing collagen, we used to inject collagen and it will disappear within 3 months because it's protein, and we had no idea how to handle it, you know. And today I know that even if you're taking oral collagen, just make sure that it is hydrolyzed collagen. All right. If it's not hydrolyzed collagen, it's not the right collagen, and this is then broken down into peptides. And when people ask me now, for example, what is a good time to take oral collagen? Can we take it in any time of the day? And so it really doesn't matter, because whenever you're taking all these proteins, collagen and all that, the enzymes that break the protein down, the proteases, are in the small intestine. So this idea that if you take collagen morning, night, the stomach acid or gastric juice will denaturate and it can't be active. No. The absorption of all this collagen and protein molecules is in the small intestine. So it really doesn't matter what time of day you take it. But it's probably better in the midday or so, because it takes about 4 to 5 hours for the molecules to be absorbed. But this is why we talked about collagen 30, 40 years ago, and then we were talking about hyaluronic acid. And that again became something that we know and marketed in every of the skin care products. And then now, because of this era of bio-revitalization, much of what we do in network marketing today is a product called fibronectin, which connects everything. That's why it's called fibronectin. You know, it keeps all the collagen fibers, and it keeps the hyaluronic acid in the matrix all together. It's called fibronectin. And then the fourth one, which today is really a breakthrough for me in aesthetic medicine when it comes to skin health, and is marketed today, is the name of proteoglycan. Write it down. Okay, so when you come and join us in the ENER Club, we're going to start off a masterclass soon called Prolong Youthfulness. Okay, the formula to prolong youthfulness. How do you market proteoglycan? How do you use it? When do you use it? All right, because it's the key. It's the foundation of what's called the matrix. So this is the matrix of the skin. And so I'll be having master classes on how do you keep that matrix nice and spongy. If that mattress is nice and spongy, you would sleep on it. You will just bathe in it. And so this is key, because proteoglycan keeps everything. It's got an electrochemical structure to it, but it keeps everything in check. And I think it's the greatest breakthrough of all. And so today, I find that this is the key in network marketing. So if you're interested in starting a business of your own with good science-based, evidence-based medicine that helps you to keep your skin healthy and young and prolong youthfulness and the recovery of youthfulness, and how do you prolong the life of a cell, then join us on the ENER Club. And so I want to just tell you that even though I've gone through health crisis 11 years ago, next month I will be reminded how I was in the intensive care unit with all these tubes coming out, and so I have faced it, and I know that if I can share this with you, remember that health is wealth, and I know of a number of people today. And so when you're talking about cancer, with 50,000 cases coming up in 2021, number one was breast cancer, followed by, again, colon cancer, lung cancer, you name it. It's as if it's becoming an epidemic. And it is an epidemic. It's not becoming, it is. And so if you and I can make a decision today, stick with it, that you will market anti-inflammation as a lifestyle. And you can make it a business. And like I always say, the best business is minding your own business. In other words, take responsibility for your own life, or you'll be taking orders from someone else. I say that again. Take responsibility for your own self. If not, you'll be taking orders from someone else. And so I know that as we wind up, you can come and join us. And on the 21st of July, which is a Thursday, We will be meeting together here at the Riverson Walk for those of you who are in Kota Kinabalu. Wherever you are, I want to tell you, it's not about the price. It's about the value that you add to your life. I say that in humility. I remember in 2005, when the technology, as I was telling you, was moving into the state of biorejuvenation, and then, during that time, we were thinking of technology that can rejuvenate the cell. And at that time, they came up with thermage, which is radio frequency, to rejuvenate one cell, and that's the fibroblast. And it was so expensive. It still is today. But I bought it because why? I wanted to market technology. I wanted to market the health of the fibroblast so that there's more collagen. And that collagen is natural collagen. And so I bought the machine. It cost me $480,000. All right, this is way back 2005. And I'm going to end up with this story. There's no such thing as putting a price when there is health and wealth in front of you, and you are given a price to join in and make it your business, and you walk away and say that, let me think about it, expensive, no money, you are at loss. Okay, you end up with a poverty mind where you put health aside and put everything else, and the same person will go and buy McDonald's. The same person will go and have something else outside that will bring harm to themselves. So coming back to thermage, I just want to give you an idea of what it is when you sell health. People will understand because they want evidence-based medicine. They want evidence-based medicine. And so I bought it. And one treatment with this thermage, with nothing else, just thermage alone, radio frequency treatment for about 2 hours, cost $14,000 at that time, 2005, $14,000. And I thought, my gosh, Sabah, one treatment, 14,000, who's going to come? But I went for technology, I went for science, I went for evidence-based medicine, I went for skin health, I went for beauty, I went for revitalization. I wanted that fibroblast to produce collagen, which is natural, all right? And so, sure enough, in 3 years, we topped the whole of Malaysia with an award because it's an American technology. And they came in here, they gave me what's called the Pinnacle Award for the whole of Malaysia. We topped Malaysia. People were flying in from Kuala Lumpur, flying in from Johor Bahru, flying in from, what's that place called in China? Guangdong. They wanted the package of skin health and they paid for it. And we had an award. So what I'm trying to share with you, and that is today, make skin health your profession. Make health by itself a profession. And I think that the breakthrough that is coming through, and we're talking about minerals and how minerals are so important during this COVID time, during health time, the enzymes that bring about all these metabolic reactions in the body need vitamins, right? And these enzymes need minerals. And so the minerals are the ones that are very important. I tell you that I use zinc, for example, for my burns when I do, even for cleansers, we make sure there's zinc. Even when you talk about a repellent for sunscreen, there's zinc oxide in it. And so this is something that's important today. Elements, minerals, trace elements. They are going to keep the molecular nature of the cell alive so that the turnover is right. And that's how you prolong life. And so if there is a business opportunity, and as I wind up today, and you will be able to, and I love this, who wrote this down? Sheena, love you. Take responsibility for yourself or you will take orders from someone else. Yes, write it, put it in a slogan, put my name on it, Charles Lee. Otherwise, you'll find a company will start using that name, Sheena. And Sheena's from Kuala Lumpur, and I love you for following us. And I hope that you enjoy these talks, Sheena, because we are at the threshold of breaking through in aesthetic medicine. This is the time. We are at a threshold, and that's why as a plastic surgeon, I will shout till people across the road will understand that there's a way to be beautiful. There's a way to stay beautiful if you have the right products with the right company. And if that company has got a good standard, it's got ethics, and it's quality driven, you will do well. Because your whole life is spent on making sure somebody else is beautiful from the inside. So there you go. And I just wanted to share with you that we are moving so fast today. As much as the cancers are catching up with life, the technology is also moving faster. And so when you are in the right time, leveraging on the right technology at the right moment, that's the time for you to run and take responsibility of your own life, of your own health, and then market it as a lifestyle to others, and you will do well. So if you're in Kuala Lumpur and Sheena, you should fly down and join us. 21st of July, which is a Thursday, we are meeting right here in a cafe called Daco Cafe, 1319. And you will be able to meet a charming girl. I know, I salute her. I respect her because she's 29 years old and she's a multi-millionaire. And she did, people talk about this MLM and all these things are get-rich-quick schemes. Rubbish. It's hard work. I've been doing it for 30 years. And what it has taught me is to humble myself, to see the way technology has been moving on. And if you're smart and you want to learn the art in smart aging, then leverage on the technology and ride with it. And at the same time, you benefit because you are using the products yourself. I drink this mineral drink every day because I need it, especially having had open heart bypass surgery. My cells need it. The minerals need to feed the enzymes. The enzymes need to feed the vitamins. The vitamins need to feed the cells so that the cell immunity steps up. So that now we are walking around with masks. Can you imagine we are walking around with masks, but when you tell someone to go and take this and take it for themselves, I think about it first. I'll let you know first. You see, and that's because of the way we have been brought up, to be ignorant of health, but to go for disease instead. So I want to tell you that this is why today this technology is amazing. And I want to end up with this to show you how technology, this is a sheet. Look at that. All right, this is a proteoglycan. Look at that. It's a filament. See what technology can do. Okay, so this is alkalinized proteoglycan from the nasal cartilage of the salmon fish. I'm the big marketing seller for this. You know why? It's so fantastic. And so you put in some water and you can spray it on your face or any wounds, or especially now after surgery, I will go and spray it on it and tell the patient to continue. And then you can have this in the morning and night and just put it under your tongue and voila, melts away. And under the tongue is where there's a lot of blood vessels, okay? So it bypasses the intestines and gets absorbed straight into the blood vessels, and that blood spits it out into the rest of every other cell. And so the extracellular matrix, which is the ECM, is fed with it. It's flooded with this proteoglycan. And that environment keeps the cell really doing a rock and roll, and that's important, right? So I love you all. Thank you all for joining me. I know I shared my life with you, and remember, the greatest gift you can ever learn is network marketing. So if you're in KK and you're looking for a network marketing business opportunity, I'm selling you this health for you to come, not to just sell it, but to actually live it as a lifestyle and make yourself really, really top of the game. And once you feel that you're really using the right stuff at the right moment and the right time, you can earn as a living. Prepare for the times when you do not know that when the time comes bad and rough, you are well seasoned and that you are financially strong. I know what it is to have finance against me. And so if there is a way of doing something good at the same time earning from it, then that's the best place to be at this time of life.